Okay, I can do that, yeah. I'll use my teacher voice. I think the MC is like, I was gonna say, do you need a little bit more? Maybe like
Happy?
Thank you.
Welcome back to Watt on the Loch. Day number 2 here from Loch Lomond, Scotland. We got the women's RX division getting set for events number 5 and 6. The final events prior to the final, which has been yet to be announced for these athletes, will be coming up after the RX women and men finish these 2 events that are before them. You see the workouts that are on the screen. So event 6 is 120 meter sprint, 60 toes to bar, and a 35 meter front rack lunge. The women will have 55 kilos on the bar, and it's all the way down the straight length of the field to the finish line over there. Event 5 is just the 120 meter suicide sprint. That should take between 35 and 45 seconds. At least that's what we've seen. Well, close to 30 seconds for the fastest guys, 35 seconds for the fastest girls so far in other divisions. And that will count as one independent score. They will go immediately into the 60 toes to bar and the 35 meters of lunging. That will count as the second score, and that will set up the final later today. As far as what we've seen so far, we have a tie at the top on points between Sapphire Goddard and Natalie Meeker. It's going to come down to a tie break at this point. Sapphire Goddard with 2 event wins to Natalie Meeker's 1. So she'll have the advantage here as we get into events number 5 and 6. The athletes will start on the far side of the floor. So you see some of them down there already. I think we're going to head down there as well.
Team, are we happy? Judges, are we happy? Ladies, can you make your way to the start area? This is your 60-second warning.
1 minute to the start. Yeah, we got some fans here saying hi to you too. Leah Heath, lane 2. Emily Johnson, Hannah Berry, Sapphire Goddard, Natalie Meeker, Renata Gattel, Helen Kluwer, and Carly Bryden rounding out the heat. 30 seconds to the start. 120 meter suicide sprint. See the gates there, they're gonna go down and around the first one, down and around the second one, down and around the third one, and then all the way down to their judge at the end who will take the time on the stopwatch. There is a penalty for a false start.
10 seconds.
We'll see if anyone has an issue with that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Looks like a clean start for the women here. Looks like Sapphire and Carly Bryden are gonna be
And we are
first 2.
120 meters suicide sprint.
Sapphire in the middle of the floor there, and the orange top on the far side is Carly Bryden. Sapphire Goddard opening up a little bit. Helen Kluwer third, Gattel and Meeker battling there, and Heath, then Barry and Johnson. And get down to the finish line here, just in case of some close finishes. It's going to be Sapphire, Bryden, Gattel ahead of Kluwer, Meeker, Heath, Barry, and then Johnson's going to be coming in as well. So and we go straight into it. Sapphire Goddard taking the win, but now catching her breath as we got 3, 4, 5 women who's going to get up on the toes to bar ahead of her. Bryden in the left side of the screen there, outside of the rig, gray pants, And Gattel in the orange and blue are the first two athletes up. You get a shot of all 8 women in the heat here working on this set of 60 toes to bar. So left to right on your screen, Bryden, Kluwer, Gattel. Meeker just jumping up there in the all black in the shades. Goddard in the gray top, black pants. Teal top on her right is Hannah Berry. And then Emily Johnson and Leah Heath. If you're checking the leaderboard, we have some scores that we may need to be updated, but basically Goddard and Meeker are tied on 7 total points through 4 events. There's 1 point separating Kluwer and Bryden for 3rd and 4th. There's 1 point separating Renata Gattel and Hannah Berry for 4th and 5th, and there's 1 point between Heath and Johnson for 7th and 8th. So we got a series of 2-woman battles basically at every 2 positions down the leaderboard. And with 2 scored events available here, and we just saw how that shook out on the sprint. Of course, the judges' scores will be the final, but I think we got it right. So Sapphire Goddard will take a big points gap there ahead of Meeker, who is about 5th. So Sapphire's first. I think Bryden, Kluwer, and Gattel, I can't remember exactly the finishing order there, but they were all kind of in that mix, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
$39 for Hannah Berry. These girls are all super close together, folks.
Pretty tight race.
Separating them.
I think Lauren said 49 for Berry, maybe. We're approaching the 3-minute mark. Sapphire's on 50. Most of the women wearing football boots or soccer cleats.
Yeah, he's been her first RX competition at a lane number 2. Smashed it on the toes.
Hand up for Goddard. Goddard was about the 5th or 6th athlete up on the rig, but it looks like she's going to be the first one off of it. And so she'll drop down and get set. Nope, last rep now. So Sapphire Goddard, who won the sprint, is going to step into her belt there. Pretty efficient way to get the belt on. She's going to roll the barbell to the side as we're approaching the 4-minute mark. This is the only heat of RX women. And it doesn't really waste much time there. So Sapphire Goddard looking to go for back-to-back wins here. She's already won 2 events this weekend out of 4. Keep an eye behind her. It looks like Meeker is going to be next off the bar. She's got 1 rep to go. So Meeker coming off of her worst finish on that sprint in event 5. Looking to bounce back into a top 2 position.
With the judge's hand in the air.
Hannah Berry has come off the rig. Renata Gattel, who's still battling for a podium spot with Kluwer and Bryden. She's got a judge's hand in the air. Sapphire yet to put the bar down. It's about 20 meters. And Meeker now has the bar moving. She's gotten 5 meters done. 55 kilos on the bar. It looks like actually Helen Kluwer is going to be the 3rd to get the barbell up. We'll catch up with the rest of the heat and see if Sapphire is going to go 35 meters unbroken here. Keep in mind that she's coming back from an ACL injury last season. Kept her out of the semifinal. She did watch her team qualify for the CrossFit Games. And Sapphire Goddard sending a massive message to the rest of the women. Unbroken on the lunges. Winner of the sprint, winner of the chip bar. Sapphire Goddard will extend that overall lead as we head into the final later today. Now we got a little bit of a battle here for 2nd and 3rd. What a performance there for Sapphire. Meeker right side of the screen in the all black. Kluwer on the left, and then Gattel in the blue and orange, and Berry in the teal and black on the right. These are the women in 2nd through 5th in the heat right now. We're approaching the final 2 minutes of the workout. Again, there's no other heat, so you don't necessarily have to finish. You just gotta stay ahead of the rest of the women to secure your position. Meeker, if you have not been with us throughout the weekend, is a semifinal athlete from the African region. Her and her partner, Stretch, fiance, I met him, talked to them earlier today, own a box down in Durban on the east coast of South Africa. She competed at a competition in Italy 2 weeks ago and has been hanging around in Europe, did the qualifiers and wanted to come compete here, much for the same reason as Sapphire Goddard and Dan Ty, of the unique location and programming that Kyle Russell provides for athletes, primarily here in Scotland, but we do have some international flair for sure. Renata Gattel back there in the blue and orange is actually just triple citizenship. I think Mexico is where the flag on her name is on the leaderboard, but she also has French and British citizenship. She's been living in the UK for the last 12 years. Meeker with 1 minute to go has one section to go, and Natalie Meeker looking to be the second female to finish this up here. She's got one more step as her foot is still on the line, and Natalie Meeker will take another second place finish and maintain a solid grip on that second place overall position. Now Kluwer, who's been bouncing back and forth between third and fourth for several events now, gets across that line, and with the time remaining, it looks like she's going to lock in a third place finish here. Renata Gattel, currently with a 5 meter advantage over Barry, who's got about a 5 minute advantage over Emily Johnson.
20 seconds.
Final 20 seconds for the women here in the RX division. Kluwer, one more step. So Helen Kluwer, it'll be enough for a third place finish. Renata Gattel will take fourth, and I think Johnson may have overtaken Barry. There is Renata Gattel. Bryden got into some lunges. All the women got into some lunges. It looks like Johnson's gonna have her best finish of the weekend there. 5 meters ahead of Barry, who I think is 5 meters ahead of Bryden, who may be 5 meters ahead of Heath, or 2.5 meters, excuse me, on those intervals.
You need to roll some barbells back.
And so that'll do it for the women's RX events 5 and 6. Sapphire Goddard taking both parts of that one. Natalie Meek having her worst finish of the weekend on the sprint, bouncing back with a second place finish. Bryden had a strong run and then battled through the Tojda bar and made up some ground there on the lunges. Gattel with a pretty steady performance on both, and Kluwer still back there on the floor, had been in that fight for third, fourth, or fifth in the run, third or fourth maybe, and ends up taking third. So likely will still be in the third overall spot as we go to the final later this afternoon. All right, we're gonna reset the barbells and the weights for the men. We got 3 heats for the men. Taking on this 2-part workout. CrossFit Games athlete in the house here. There's Rachel Hives. She made the drive down today to say hi, hang out, watch some of the athletes here in Scotland compete. Just got back from Canada. Bit jet lagged, I came down here to support. Got to talk to her today. It was awesome to talk to her. If you want to support her CrossFit Games jersey, Rachel Hives, go check her out on Instagram. She's gonna try to make her way out to Texas in September for the adaptive CrossFit Games. This should be our longest transition between heats as we reload the barbells. Yeah, we got the same workout for the men as the women, the only difference being the weight on the bars, 80 kilos, rather than that 55. Nice weights there, factory weights look very cool. men should be making their way down to the other side of the floor. Hey, what's that shirt there? Meme for time. Someone clip that and send it to my buddy out in California. Boom. Roderick. All right, we're going to walk with the guys down to the starting line, similarly to we did with the women. Introduce you to the athletes, follow them through the suicide sprint, try to get to the finish line just in case there's some close finishes. A lot on the line here. They had 4 scored events, 2 more here, and then we're going to cut down to 10 for the final, which will be coming up not long after this. Once the men finish up, we'll start with the scaled finals, intermediate finals, and then go to the RX women and RX men to round out the 2024 version of Wide on the Loch. So, left of your screen there, Sam Brody tying his shoe. Kyle Barnes next to him. 1 minute to go. Ash Dugan there. Dean Walker. Looks like he wants to run fast. Alex Lucani, last man to the starting gate. Is he going to be the last man across the line? Ben Robeson. Harry Hutchinson. No shirt again. And Chris Riddle. 13th, he's calling a shot. Of the men in this heat, Alex Lucani flirting with the top 10. Top 10 will make it into the final.
Come on, boys.
And he's probably got the best shot of these guys to do that. Gonna need some good performances here. He won the kayak. He got 8th place on Kelly. He struggled with the log last night. Middle pack on the gymnastics earlier today.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Whoa. No false starts, I think. Quick start for Robeson and quick start for Hutchinson in terms of his quick turns there with no shirt on. Hutchinson, Walker, Riddle, Barnes, Brody.
He's putting meters behind himself and the rest of the field. At that point, he's on attack.
Walker and Barnes closing him down.
He's gotta go!
We're gonna have a close race here. I think it's Dean and then Hutchinson, Barnes, Riddle edges Brody, Lucani, and Robeson. And Ash Dugan cruising in, but straight into the toaster bar. Not sure if he's supposed to be facing the other way. Maybe a little strategy there for Ash Dugan. Can we turn him around when he gets off the bar, please?
Looks like he's a man who likes toaster bar.
$60 toaster bar here, middle part of the chipper.
That's how I count though. 5 turnaround, 5 turnaround. Right, you got a judge.
So Brody on the right side of the screen, Barnes next to him in the meme for time shirt, Ash Dugan in the peach salmon top there, Dean Walker, who came from behind to win that sprint with the blonde hair, gray shorts, taking a little break. He's going to jump up there, middle of the screen, all black, Alex Lucani, Robeson with the jersey on, Hutchison and Riddell, the men here in heat 1 of 3. And Lucani has been flirting with the top 10 the entire weekend after the event win. He's on 42 points. Russ Brunner in the next heat is also on 42 points, was on 11th on a tie break, so it's really tight on that cut line. Carlos Williams Holden is in 9th place. He's on 41 points in the final heat, so we're going to keep track of that cut line race as best we can throughout all 3 heats of the RX men's division here. Lucani grinding through some reps there. That's 44 reps for Lucani. 27 for Hutchison. That's 41 for Robeson. $40 for Walker, 42 for Barnes. Lucani should be getting close to the last 10.
There, man.
50 for Brody on the far side of the rig.
Brody to his final 10.
Lucani might be up for his last set here. Hand up for Lucani.
Yeah, Chris, let's go.
Approaching the 4-minute mark, and Alex Lucani, who was towards the back of the heat on the run, needs to have a good performance here on the lunges. 2 heats still to go, and he's battling with guys in both of them if he wants a spot in that final. I believe he was 16th here last year, so he is showing some improvement, and I do think the field overall is a little more competitive than it was last season. So Brody off the barbell, right side of the floor, so Lucani cleans the 80-kilo bar. It's 35 meters of front rack lunge before him.
How many of you have done lunges in football boots? I mean, we don't do very much in the box, do we?
Every rep looks like it's going to be a grind there. Long 35 meters. But if you want to be in that final, Alex, you're going to have to fight for it. Sam Brody gets the bar up. Kyle Barnes off the barbell. Hand up for Robeson. Brody right side of the screen. Second man to get to the lunges. So far, he looks a little stronger than Lucani.
Lucani's still out in front, but Brody on him.
3 sections down for Lucani. 3 sections down for Brody. So
And they're at exactly the same
Leaders.
stage.
same spot on the floor there. Dugan off the rig. So Barnes and Dugan on the right side of the rig. Final rep for Walker. Final rep for Robeson.
At exactly the same time.
Robeson done. Walker done. Hutchison and Riddle, the last 2 on the bar. The pull-up bar, that is. Dugan and Barnes going rep for rep. Brody cleans it before Lucani. And the race here is tightening up as we approach the final 2 minutes of this workout for the men in heat 1 of 3.
Number 2.
Barnes drops, Dugan drops there. Good opening 10-meter stretch for Dugan.
As Alex Lucani fights to close the gap.
So Lucani and Brody break at the same point again. Robeson has the bar up, Walker has the bar up. Walker looks pretty strong with the barbell in the back there with no shirt on. A nice upright torso where the bar seems to be crippling the midline of some of the other men in this heat. Wondering if Dean Walker can have a bit of a come from behind victory just like he did on the run.
And now he's back in the conversation.
And we got a race here.
Matches.
A minute and 15 seconds to go. Brody still leading the way, then Dugan, now Walker and Lucani. Brody dumps it, Dugan dumps it, Walker puts it down. Lucani looks like he's gonna fight for another section or try to. That's gonna be a big step. Heels on the line.
Lucani fighting for every single.
Head judge says he needs one more step. At this point, he might as well go for another section.
Ready to go again.
Glances over.
Seconds.
Lucani will take back the lead from Brody. Barnes making a surge, but he dumps it. Dugan cleans it. All the men are on the barbell. Brody with the no rep. Riddle making up ground. Hutchison, Robeson coming. Walker as well. And Dugan.
Starts to close in on Lucani.
And this is going to be a hectic finish. Last 20 seconds. Dugan and Brody now in the lead. Dean Walker gonna pass by Lucani, who can't even get the clean. Dugan dumps it. Brody fights for it.
He breaks. There's
Barnes
7 seconds.
grinding. Can he get one more rep? A great surge from Kyle Barnes here at the end. So we're gonna have Brody and Dugan
And that
with a 1 section lead.
close you will see today.
Over Barnes, Walker, and Lucani, who are all tied. And one section behind them, I think, is Hutchison, and then Robeson and Riddell. So all 8 men in this heat are within 4 sections on the lunge. An absolute battle and carnage as everyone fights for the final positions on the leaderboard heading into that final.
Hutchison just having a photo shoot on the ground.
Cannot say a lack of effort for any of these men. High fives, fist bumps all around. We'll see if it was enough for any of them to push into the final. Otherwise, it was a hell of a battle over 2 days. Ash Dugan, a bit of strategy there, paid off for him.
To the start line.
See where it shakes out on the leaderboard. Good job, Kyle. All right, that was pretty exciting finish, and that was only heat 1 of 3. Dean Walker there in the gray shorts, great position on the lunges, able to make up some ground after spending a lot of time on the toes to bar. Remind you of the workout, it's a 2-parter. It's called Sprint Chipper. Event 5 is just the 120-meter sprint for time. Event 6 is the total time it takes for you to do 120-meter sprint, 60 toes to bar, and 35-meter front rack lunge. If you can finish the lunge, nobody in that heat was able to. All of them made it at least 15 meters. Nobody made it 25 meters, so an extremely tight heat there. We do have some men in heat 2 that are currently inside the top 10.
Joey, you got it. Sheet.
2 scores to go. They're going to be fighting hard to get there. And one of the athletes we're going to be keeping our eye on is Ross Brunner. Brunner here in the purple is the man on the outside looking in. He's currently 11th. You know he wants to be in that final. Tied 10th. 11th on the tie break. Can he push into that top 10? Robert Bennett next to him there. He's sitting 6th overall right now. He's on 34 points. Kenny Gray with no shirt on in the background there. He's currently 8th on 36 points. Brunner's 11th on 42. Other men in this heat, we got Chris Mulam Jones. I know this guy can run. Chris, can you run fast? I know you can run far.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Lorenzo De Pascal. And outside lane over here, Aaron Ham. These will be the men in heat number 2. Getting set to take on this 2-part scored event. Last opportunity to make a push for that final. Aaron Ham sitting in 12th place. Still has a chance. He's going to need 2 good performances here. 10 seconds to the start.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Clean start for the men in heat number 2. Nobody wants that 5-second penalty. It's absolutely devastating. It looks like it's Gray and Bennett. And Brunner, Mulan Jones. Oh, fuck.
Kenny Gray currently leading the foot race in this suicide sprint, but Rob Bennett isn't going to get away that easily. On the outside.
Looks like it's going to be Gray, Bennett, Mulan Jones, Ham, Brunner, and Lorenzo De Pascal. 36 seconds. All the men are done. And event 5 is in the books for heat number 2. We'll see how it shakes out relative to the rest of the men in this division. Mulan Jones, no time wasted getting up on the bar. Kenny Gray, no shirt on, middle of the rig. Lorenzo De Pascal, 3rd up. So far left side is Lorenzo De Pascal. Kenny Gray, no shirt, middle of the floor. Robert Bennett, the whitish tan there. Ross Brunner in the purple. Did not have the fastest run of the group, so he's going to need to have a great finish here. I think once he gets that barbell, we might see something special from Brunner. And Aaron Ham on the outside. Talked to him earlier. His shoulder was bothering him a little bit on the muscle ups. And he said he'll see about the toes to bar, but he's having a good time nonetheless. I think I skipped over Chris Mulan Jones, who wasn't on the ring there. He's the second man to the left with the cutoff t-shirt there. Surprising strength for his size. See how he handles that 80-kilo barbell when we get there for those lunges. Haven't been with us this week. Kenny Gray, young man, 1 year experience in CrossFit, and as I mentioned, he's currently sitting 8th in the division. That's 30 reps. $40 reps for Bennett. $35 done for Brunner. Is that 45? 35 for Aaron Ham. So Bennett looking to be out in front on this toes to bar amongst those we've checked in with. Ulam Jones moving really quickly through those. $35 for Jones. $40 for Lorenzo. Pretty good battle here on the rig. I think it's going to be Bennett though. $55 for Bennett. Rob Bennett at the 3:30 mark, first man off the barbell. Mentioned that he comes in with 34 points, 6th place overall. He's 5 points away from 5th. 9 points away from the podium currently. Those guys will be coming up in the next heat. Had a fast run, so it could be a podium push here for Bennett. Let's see how these lunges look. Usually the first couple are a little shaky, but the front rack looks great and the torso in a nice strong position. So Bennett could be laying down some scores for that final heat to think about. No one else in this heat on the barbell yet. Drops it after 3 sections, so it looks strong, but we got a long way to go. 4 minutes and 20-second mark, so we're past the halfway mark of the 8-minute time cap. Brunner and Gray both turning their barbells. Lorenzo DePascal with a hand up left side of the floor. Lorenzo's got some sneaky strength, so if he gets off that rig. Now Kenny Gray, you want to talk about sneaky strength. He's probably one of the smaller and younger athletes out here, but he has looked phenomenal when it comes to the weightlifting. On both the log event yesterday and the heavy sandbag cleans earlier today, he definitely made an impression. He drops after 3 sections. Brunner has the bar up behind him and struggling with the barbell. Another good section there for Rob Bennett. So it's Bennett and then Gray. The top 2 guys overall on the leaderboard coming into this one are the top 2 in the heat here. 2.5 minutes till the time cap. A little bit of a misstep there for Gray. Dumps it again. And there comes DePascal. I told you the guy's got some sneaky strength. Let's see what he can say about this. Pretty good on the toes to bar. Looking strong with the lunges so far. Brunner has the bar up again. That front rack position just looks like it's giving him fits. He's got the barbell in his fingertips. Chris Mulam Jones has the bar up in the lane that we're in here. Walking towards us.
2 minutes to go.
Judge sending him back, said he's shuffling his feet. Cannot do that. Pretty good composure there by Bennett. Good call by the head judge. That feet shuffle, whether it's in the box or on the competition floor, not meant to be doing that on those lunges. I know it can be tempting.
90 seconds on the clock. Pascal and
Aaron Hand is off the rig. He's talking to his judge. I'm not sure if he's going to go for any lunges or not. Hasn't yet. Kenny Gray trying to march down Rob Bennett. This kid is a fighter. And Bennett, not to let the kid outdo him, not so fast, picks it up as well. 1 minute to go. Can we get a finisher here? He's got one more step in this section, and it might as well do another one. He can't drop it now. Come on, Rob. You got to grind here all the way in. It should be 2 steps. Final step. Judge says good. 7:22, Rob Bennett. Incredible back-to-back performances there by Rob Bennett. He's absolutely going to be in the top 10 for the final later. How close to the podium will he be? We're not sure. And Kenny Gray. Savage effort by Gray. Come on, Kenny. Fighting for it. He's in the final section. He's going to need one more step. And Kenny Gray, another epic performance. So Gray and Bennett get it done. Last couple seconds. And De Pascal is going to end up on the line, so he and Moulin Jones will tie for 3rd in the heat. And they're going to be right in that range with all the athletes from the previous heat. I think that this is going to be a tie with the top guys from that heat. Great performance for De Pascal and Moulin Jones. Some of their better performances saved for the end there. You can see the effort, maximal effort. Russ Brunner, not sure it's going to be enough for him. He was in 11th. Didn't have the performances he was necessarily looking for. Super nice guy, great competitor. Going to sort it out with his judge there. Great display of sportsmanship, regardless of what happens on the competition floor. You always love to see that.
Well done, lads.
But
There's a race. Who's going to get that ball?
Kenny Gray and Rob Bennett, we'll see you guys in the final.
Oh my God, it got a little bit over the top.
What's one more workout?
What is it, mate? I can hardly walk right now, but...
Now get off your feet.
Crossfitters.
You're having a great weekend. Kenny Gray giving some love to the crowd. Rob Bennett saying he can hardly walk, but I have a feeling we'll see him dig deep when he needs to.
I say Kenny, you say Gray. Kenny! Kenny! I say Kenny, you say Gray. Kenny! Kenny!
Yeah, Lauren Smith having fun with the fans all day
What have we become?
long here. 7:22 for Bennett. I think that's what you said.
I think that's it.
And about 7:52 for Gray.
I've done so many numbers and names today.
We're gonna say 7:22 and 7:52 unofficial times there for the only 2 men who got across the line. Try to keep track of those best we can. Here's the workout as the final heat of men are on the competition floor. It's a 2-parter. 120-meter sprint on its own counts as event number 5, directly into 60 toes to bar and 35-meter front rack lunge with that 80-kilo bar. And the total time, including the sprint, is going to be event number 6. So we've had 4 events, 2 more scored events here before the final. We're only taking 10 to the final out of 23 men that are in the division. Let's introduce you to the men here.
60 seconds.
In this heat, 1 minute to go. Josh McDonald, Grant Nielsen, Dan Ty, Stephen Turnbull still holding the overall lead. Carlos Williams Holden, Mark Franklin, Mike Leggett, 2-time defending champ, outside of the podium right now, here for the fight, and Joe Thomas Greaves, 4th place last year, climbing the leaderboard here on the final day. We got 30 seconds to go. See the intensity, you can feel the intensity ramping up as these are the men in the final heat here. All of them want to be in that final. All of them want to be on that podium. All of them want some of the biggest prize purse that Kyle Russell has ever provided for Watt on the Lock. McDonald's currently 5th, Nielsen's 2nd, Dan Ty 4th, Turnbull 1, Carlos Williams Holden 9, Franklin's in 3rd, Mike Leggett's in 7th, Joe Thomas Greaves 13th. And it looks like Dan Ty and Josh McDonald, but it is tight.
But it's that time.
Dan Ty has been on a tear ever since the second event. He won event 3, he won event 4, and he looks to be winning his heat here in event 5. So it's going to be Dan Ty, Josh McDonald, Grant Nielsen, Carlos gets across, and then Franklin ahead of Turnbull, Greaves, and Leggett for event number 5. All of them, again, underneath that 36-second mark, I believe. And the amount of time it takes for them to get back up on the pull-up bar, not much. We're at the 50-second mark, and they're already up there. Josh McDonald on the right side of your screen. Mentioned he's in 5th place. He's on 31 points. Next to him is Grant Nielsen, 2nd place on 21 points. Dan Ty, he's been climbing 4th place right now with 30 points. Turnbull has been leading all day today. He's on 14 points. He got a 7-point lead over the field right now. Carlos Williams Holden has been really good after the kayak yesterday. He's all the way up into 9th on 41 points. Mark Franklin's been solid throughout. He's on 25 points, sitting in 3rd, 4 points behind Nielsen. Leggett, who was tied for the overall lead yesterday, dropped down to 7th after he struggled with the ring muscle-ups earlier today. He's on 36 points, and Thomas Greaves on 51. Gonna need some magic here if he wants to make it in that top 10. Dealing with a bit of a thumb injury that he clipped on a hurdle during Kelly yesterday.
I'll play for Dan Ty.
Nice set here for Leggett.
Halfway.
35 for Franklin. What's that? 40 for Carlos. 42 for Steven. What's he on?
40.
40 for Dan. 40 for Grant. And now 40 for Josh. So most of the athletes in this 40 rep range, we're at the 2-minute and 40-second mark. 3 minutes and 20 seconds was when we saw Rob Bennett get off the bar. The fastest man in the first heat was about 3 minutes 45 seconds.
Coming up to the 3-minute mark, Jack. Who's going to be first onto the barbell?
3 minutes have elapsed. 5 minutes to the time cap. Hand up for Turnbull. Hand up for Franklin. Hand up for Dan. Hand up for Carlos. Ty done. Turnbull done. Franklin done. Williams Holden last couple reps. 8 reps to go for McDonald. Hand up for Nielsen. So most of the guys are done. None of them have got the barbell up, and just like that, Dan Ty gets it into that front rack position. Steven Turnbull right behind him. Mark Franklin left side of the screen.
2 lunges behind Mark Franklin though.
He's going to drop this first. That's
Part of the leading trio. Halfway through now.
Nielsen up. Carlos Williams Holden lunging there.
Joseph Thomas Greaves, he's off the rig and onto the barbell.
Thomas Greaves is done. McDonald is done.
Williams Holden. And Grant Nielsen.
Dan Ty gets a break. Turnbull drops it. Franklin in the gray t-shirt over there. He's going to keep going.
In the lead.
Williams Holden takes a break. Nielsen looks strong. He takes a
Good
drop.
4 meter gap now for
And he takes a drop towards the wrong side of his section there.
doesn't feel great.
Sapphire Goddard won this event going unbroken on the lunge. Can Dan Ty match that performance and effort?
Into this workout, Daniel Ty.
Doesn't need to. He's got about a 10-meter lead at this point, but he may want to. The crowd is cheering him on and encouraging him. Dan takes a break with 2 sections to go. Turnbull currently second. Franklin and Williams Holden right behind him, and then Nielsen. Franklin left side of the screen, gray t-shirt. Turnbull with this whitish gold t-shirt on the barbell, on the ground there. Nielsen lunging on the right side of your screen with the gray shorts. 7:22 is the time to beat. Seems like that's not going to be an issue. And Dan Ty looking to pick up his 4th event win in a row. 5:45. But the problem for him is that he's behind these 3 guys, and they're all looking like they're going to take 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in some order. Franklin grinding here. Can he come away with the 2nd place? Mark Franklin, another strong performance. He's going to get 2nd in the heat, 2nd in the event. Grant Nielsen has 1 step to go. Nielsen. Stephen Turnbull, no pull, no problem. So Turnbull should take 4th there. And the top 4 guys coming in are going to take the top 4 positions. Kyle Russell loving what he's seeing from these men in this final heat. Now, McDonald and Carlos Williams Holden and Mike Leggett are all still battling for spots inside this top 10. McDonald sends it down as Carlos cleans it up. Leggett, blue t-shirt, left side of the screen, trying to track those 2 guys down. We got 1 minute to go. We do have that time of 7:22 and also 7:52 from Bennett and Gray. Those guys are in the mix on terms of the overall leaderboard with these guys, and they both ran pretty fast. Williams Holden dumps with 1 section to go, 45 seconds to go, so Bennett is going to probably take 5th here. And now McDonald is charging. McDonald and Williams Holden both in the final section. Looks like it's going to be Josh McDonald, far side of the floor, about a step ahead of Williams Holden, leaving 2 men on the floor. 20 seconds to go. Mike Leggett stepping into the final section. He's basically in a foot race with Kenny, the ghost of Kenny Gray from the previous heat. 1 step to go. Kenny was about 7:52. Leggett in maybe a second behind that, not sure. Wow, so that's going to be close. But most of the top guys that were still the top guys. Leggett gets it in at the buzzer. Mark Franklin takes 2nd in the event in the heat there. Carlos Williams Holden gets across. Turnbull, another top 5 for him. Nothing but top 5s this weekend. Grant Nielsen looking strong. Takes 3rd there. Dan Ty wins both parts of that one, at least in his heat. We have to check on the run. And McDonald, a strong push there at the end to clip Williams Holden by about 1 step. All right, we're going to shut this one down and reset the stream. We're going to have the finals coming up for all of the divisions here at Wild on the Loch. So the final stream, which will be reloaded soon, will have the scaled men and women, intermediate men and women, and RX men and women final. We'll see you guys for that shortly.